Dear students, greetings for the day. Today we will study Plackets and Necklines Part 01. Objectives: to acquire knowledge on standards of a good placket, to get acquainted with different types of finishing placket openings, to familiarize with various ways of finishing different necklines. Plackets are finished slits or faced openings in garments which make putting and taking of the garments easier. These are designed on all types of garments, bodice, sleeve, skirt, dress, jacket, pant and so forth. Plackets provide excellent fitting especially in women's garments. Plackets can be of any length and width, with blunt, pointed, rounded or stylized ends. Some plackets have buttons and buttonholes, others may not. When the plackets are designed at neckline, it may end up at neck edge or be extended beyond the neck and become part of the collar. The measurement can vary to create different effects. Standards for a good placket. Placket should be made as flat as possible without any puckers or bulges. Placket should be made as neat as possible. It should provide sufficient lapping so as to close the opening as perfectly as possible without any gap. It should be made of the same material used for the garment except in case of decorative plackets. Matching thread should be used. Correct lapping needs to be followed for men and women. For men it is left over right and for women it is right over left. Plackets should be made stronger by reinforcing the beginning and end with one more row of stitches. Types of plackets openings. Many types of placket openings are used for making garments. The choice of the placket opening is dependent on the age and sex of the wearer, the position in the garment, type of garment, the purpose of the garment and the type of fabric used. These can be made in an opening left out in a seam or a slash in a garment. They can be planned to be both practical as well as decorative. Simple hem placket. It is used in infants' garments. It is not considered as strong placket, as extra piece of material is not used for finishing it. Mark for placket of desired length and make a vertical straight opening. At the end of the slash, make 2 crosswise slashes on both the sides. Turn 0.5 cm to the wrong side and hem it by hand or machine. Overlap the edges of placket by laying a pleat at the bottom of the placket. Reinforce the bottom by sewing across the top of the pleat. Faced placket. Faced placket uses separate material in the form of facing for finishing. It is suitable for front and back neck openings and wrist opening of full sleeves. The edges do not overlap, hence formal fasteners are not used. Construction of the placket. Mark the location and length of the placket on the garment. Cut out facing from the same material or matching material approximately having length equal to ready length of placket plus 5 cm and width 5 cm. Mark out the length of the opening on the facing also. Cut the facing neatly on all three sides. With right sides together, place marked lines on top of each other and slash to the point of the V. Spread the pieces apart and pin the facing along the edge of the placket and curve facing around the V. Stitch the facing to placket using 0.5 cm allowance. Start stitching from one side of the V, and when it reaches the bottom, keep the needle down, raise the presser foot and turn to the other side of V and finish. This helps in smooth finishing of the placket at the bottom without having any puckers. Iron it and turn the three facing towards the wrong side of the garment. Tack the folded edges into position and iron. Strengthen the opening by edge stitching from the right side. Bound placket or opening. This opening is used for making front and back neck opening, used mainly in children's or infants' dresses. Use bias strip that contrasts with the garment to make the opening more decorative. Cut the opening of required length and a bias strip twice the length of the opening and 2.5 cm wide. Open out the opening and place the right side of the strip to the right side of the opening. Slightly stretch the binding and tack it. Machine stitch and remove the tacking. Make 0.5 cm turning on to the wrong side of the strip. Fold over the strip so that the fold touches the machine stitching. Hem through the machine stitching so that the stitches do not show on the right side. These placket are normally short and are not provided with fasteners. Continuous wrap opening. Continuous bound placket. In this type of placket, one strip piece is used throughout the opening. It is used in slashes or in seams concealed in gathers or under a pleat. It is suitable for children dresses, undergarments, petticoats, cuffs and so on. But it is not suitable on curved seams and bulky fabrics. Construction of the placket. Leave the seam unstitched or cut a straight slit as per required length of the opening. Cut a straight strip on grain twice the length of the opening and 6 cm wide. With the wrong side facing the worker, open the two edges of the opening. Place right side of the strip to the right side of the opening. Tack the strip into position with the garment, keeping 0.5 cm seam allowance and then tapering it to almost nothing at the base of the opening. Machine stitch it with care, especially where the garment turning is narrow, for making smooth and unpuckered placket. After removing the tacking, press the strip and turn away from the garment. Crease 0.5 cm turning along the free edge of the strip. Fold over the strip, pin and tack into place, so that the fold touches the machine stitching. Hem stitch or machine the edge of the strip into the machine stitching and iron it. Refold one side to make it as overlap and the other extended side as underlap. To strengthen and to hold the opening in position, backstitch at the base or reinforce with machine stitches. Two-piece placket. This placket is generally made in skirt or petticoat on the left side seam. It is used as a compulsory placket for blouses with full opening. Depending on the lapping for men and women, one side of the opening is made as extension and the other facing. Construction of the placket. Separate pieces of fabric are used for each edge. Extend one of these pieces to form underlap and turn back the other side completely to form the overlap. Use the same fabric for lightweight fabric and marching lining fabric for heavy fabrics. For underlap, cut a strip of fabric on grain having length 2.5 cm longer than the placket and width 6.5 cm. For overlap, keep length 2.5 cm longer than the placket and width 3.5 cm. Take the wider strip and place the right side of the strip to the right side of the garment. Pin, tack and stitch the strip in position to the back, maintaining the seam line. Remove the tacking, iron the strip and turn away from the garment. Crease 0.5 cm. Turning along with free edge and then fold over the strip. Now pin and tack into place so that the fold touches the machine stitching. Hem stitch or machine stitch the edge of the strip into the machine stitching. Remove the tacking and iron it to make it underlap. To make an overlap, stitch narrow strip to the front side, following the directions mentioned earlier. Turn strip completely inside to make it overlap. To strengthen the placket, backstitch at the base. Seam placket. This placket is used in fitted upper garment. This is made in left side seam at waist level, where the seam is generally curved. The length of the placket varies from 15 cm to 20 cm. This placket is made in same way as the two-piece placket except that this placket has both the edges closed. Following the procedure of two-piece placket, turn the front side strip completely inside to make it overlap and extend the back side placket to make an underlap. Reinforce the placket at the top and bottom. Front placket. This style of placket is often used for front opening on the garment, where the placket is made after making a slash. This placket may be decorative depending on the design of the garment. Contrasting or matching colored or designed material is used for making the placket. Construction of the placket. Mark a line for placket of desired length along the center front. Mark stitching line 1 cm away from the center line on either side and machine stitch along the line to reinforce the corners. Then slash along the control line, clipping diagonally into corners up to the stitching. Cut 2 strips of length 2.5 cm. Longer than the ready placket length and width 6 cm. Interface one strip to use it for overlap. To make overlap, place right side of the strip to the wrong side of the garment, tack it and stitch it so that the seam allowances are on the right side. Trim the seam allowances. Turn 0.5 cm. Other edge of the strip and fold over the strip towards right side. so that the fold covers the machine stitching.